But when I was muted, I was talking about how this is gonna suck. Cause like, bro, spotting a shiny Comfey, like you can't really screw it up. It's just gonna be annoying. I gotta find blue, like a bluish teal compared to green in grass everywhere. Is that it? Never mind. Not hard. Took 5 minutes. Bro, these events are busted. These events are stupid. This is like everyone's experience with these shiny events. But it's also weird because I did my video on the shiny hunting. It's like, oh, the Clefairy event wasn't enhanced shiny odds. They didn't do enhanced shiny odds until the rest of the DLC came out. And then, like, some of them have it, some of them don't. But when they have it, oh my god. Like, you just catch a regular one and it's shiny. Pretty much. And with all these events in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and the Regulation H format, which might not be terrible because no legendaries at all or Paradox Pokemon sounds kind of fun, you're going to want to grab some G Fuel. Maybe you get inspired to play the game, do some shiny hunting, make some teams. G Fuel's going to help with that. Gives you the energy and focus to perform at your highest level, and it tastes great. Use code Verlisify 20% off your G Fuel order. So, Mass Outbreak Shiny Hunting continues to be the quickest and easiest shiny hunting in Pokemon. It's actually crazy, especially when there's like a good event that has a strong competitive Pokemon like Comfey. I think Comfey is going to take over Regulation H, and that's just from my history of Comfey in like current formats and also last generation where it countered Gigantamax Cinderace. It actually did that, which was kind of crazy. So yeah, here's how I run it. You go max hit points, max defense, Keyberry, Seed of Physical Hit, you have +3 priority synthesis, and then Leech Seed, Draining Kiss, Calm Mind, all those shenanigans. Set up to infinity. It's really easy to get all the moves because they're all just remembering except for Calm Mind, and now you can buy Calm Mind in the Blueberry Academy, and then that's EVs, and then Nature's Defense, and GG easy on that one. So yeah, shiny Comfey, insta. Now what about the rest of the Pokemon for Regulation H? Well, it's a bad sign for just competitive Pokemon in general when everything is just so new and power crept. That's just the best Pokemon to run. The opponents don't bring any Taunt or Encore, which has become really common in Generation 9. Like, Gargantuar just automatically wins with a Moringa Berry. You just set up on it and win. We have Comfey, where that also just sets up and win. But because the priority does a little better in those anti-setup situations, and then, like, just destroy everything with the Pokemon I've been using and dominating on. Really, this format sounds like the best thing ever because I've already dumpstered everyone throughout the entirety of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I don't need unrestricted legendary Pokemon as a crutch, so I just bring out my damage theory strats and sets, and then we just bulk and win. It's not even stalling. It's just like straight sweeping people, and then you fall back on the Basket Legion because he's got a Scarf and adaptability. And then we just finish off everything. So even if things go, like, terribly, as long as we chip in a little damage and get, like, the right final opposing Pokemon to go up against, we just win. So yeah, it's really just we're playing what we've already been sweeping with, and now there's no legendaries. The only threat seems to be Ursaluna. You have to kind of commit multiple Pokemon or just kind of accept that something's gonna get KO'd. And Ursaluna does do well into, like, unset up bulk. So it gets weird into the Ursaluna, but then, like, I just don't have too many problems in the long run. I find a way around it. Apparently it's all, like, Terra Normal now. Not a lot of Calm Mind usage. Calm Mind usage probably going up without, like, Paradox Pokemon power, because that's another crazy thing. Like, sure, I'll use Paradox Pokemon. I have the best Flutter Mane set that's ever existed, which further proves that I am the best competitive Pokemon player, just the way I discover things. But again, I don't need it to win, and sometimes you just get in like some weird situations where, yeah, the other common Pokemon kind of makes it hard, or physical legendary Pokemon, Paradox Pokemon are kind of annoying, but then you just run this and then you're fine, I guess. And if it wasn't for other stupid power creep Pokemon like Golden Go, I would love running Toxapex. Also, Even though I like the meme of just Dondozo, I think we have enough Oko, because we got the Guillotine, we got the Fissure. We do just want like an everything setup, because Hippowdon, solo sweeps games, all these Pokemon, solo sweep games, so we can just kind of like build that up. I don't know if I try to win it in Champ Select, but we have that, and then yeah, just you play the game, and cool things happen, and we do have some meta responses. It is weird how Earthworm is the best Excalibur counter. Unfortunately, this is an entire season, so it's not a tournament. It's like, well, I have to predict the meta and then lock in and hope for the best. So, yeah, we can adapt throughout this. Maybe Toxapex gets a time, maybe some of the other Pokemon that I think are good, but they just have, like, too much overlap with the other Pokemon I run. Like, when you run Sinistea, like, Strength Sap, Calm Mind with Machagacha, that's neat. But it's also, like, just the setup I do for everything. Hydrappa with Choice Specs can clutch. Rhyperior's cool, but feels power creep, but maybe not without legendaries or paradox Pokemon. Comfey's just the best. Comfey is just going to be the monster of Regulation H. And then I've also kind of built out some other ones. Drifblim. So Ursaluna doesn't like going up against Ghost Flying at all. So Drifblim into Garganasalt seems like an auto win, or we just put minimize stockpiles onto really any of these Pokemon. We could just win the game, and then Basket Legion salvages it somehow, sometimes. And then also Last Respects team. So Last Respects, highest skill cap in the game, exhausting, and just an unreasonable team to play sometimes. But it's also going to be a really good strategy when you don't have. But it's also going to be really good without Chien Pao and Fluttermane and Iron Bundle and all these 130 plus speed Pokemon running around. So you have like more opportunities, just like, oh, Palmot's now decent. And if it does kind of return to bulk, you at least get to guarantee revival blessings, get more damage stacked in, play around with the Sand Timer a bit more. Also, Hippowdon, Tyranitar just clean up harder. And then we have our Damage Theory Scizor to just also set it up really well for us, because there's like some weird stuff you can do where it's like, okay, lead Scizor, try to set up, then you can go into Palmot, revive Scizor, but you go Basket Legion, run it down, and if the opponent is like just low, it's like, okay, bullet punch, win the game. So again, there's some stuff that can happen that gets kind of weird with that, or Scizor can just 3-0, or you make it to where like Palmot, Basket Legion cleanup is kind of free. But like Palmot Nuzzle into a win secure is good. Double Shock has just finished games into super effective hits. So it's going to be like meta dependent, but yeah, like this also seems like a really good Regulation H team. And then you have the same team, but with a Drifblim compared to the first one. But yeah, I wanted to see what Comfey does without, like Comfey, without having to worry about Dynamax, Paradox Pokemon, or Legendaries. Yeah, that sounds nuts. And the sad thing is Clefable was the beast of Generation 8 because there was just so many free stats and people were still trying to play setup. But now there's so much anti-setup. Unaware doesn't really matter too much. And you can still just kind of win the race with other Pokemon, or just like Oko, or just not care. So yeah, like there's some fun things to try out. We have Damage Theory, Excalibur, we've got Rhyperior to run out. Maybe Toxapex gets a moment to be used. Maybe Appleton comes in as like a really strong setup Pokemon. I have a million flavors of Hippowdon, Chansey, and Blissey. Volcarona is also a Pokemon. Probably, actually, it would be weird if we see like a switch up where now it does go back to really aggressive setup, and then Unaware can work if there's Pokemon like Volcarona everywhere. Bro, it just sucks so much that like, why are you setting back legitimate players by hard resetting the movesets on all the Pokemon? So I mean, I'm pretty sure all these guys are like trained to some degree. Yeah. But yeah, depending on how Worlds goes, if we see a lot of cheaters, if maybe there's some hope for the future of Pokemon through the Pokemon Presents, that would be pretty nice. And at the very least, like, oh yeah, actually the Mass Outbreak events are fun and worth doing, even if you're not playing Pokemon. And then it might get you a little more interested in competitive, especially if it's not just garbage formats and hacking the entire time. Even though Regulation H is still going to be 99% hacked Pokemon. But there we go, guys. Hope you all enjoy the video. We just out here chilling and getting set up. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.